I saw this comment earlier, and I wanted to kind of talk about it a little bit here. From Wikipedia. Now, first of all, you guys who keep on jumping to Wikipedia thinking you're doing some research, you're really fooling yourselves. If you think that Wikipedia is somehow a type of research, you're pretty much a clown. But okay, from Wikipedia, Eustace Clarence Mullins Jr. Was an American writer, white supremacist, anti-Semitic conspiracy theorist, propagandist, and a Holocaust denier. A disciple of the poet Ezra Pound. His best-known work is The Secrets of the Federal Reserve, in which he alleged that several high-profile bankers had conspired to write the Federal Reserve Act for their own nefarious purposes, and then induced Congress to enact it into law. The Southern Paul Law Center described him as a one-man organization of hate. So black people are reading white supremacist conspiracy books now. That's enough internet for today. Now that's funny because, again, everything that we've been subjected to has been from white supremacists. Even the Catholic Church, who, again, tried to apologize for slavery for the last 500 plus years. And a white supremacist thought mindset is that you could just say, I'm sorry, and that would be enough. That's a white supremacist mindset, that you're lucky I'm even acknowledging you. And that if I just say, I'm sorry, you had better accept it and don't expect any other type of recompense. Now, but that's funny because I've been forced to listen to and regurgitate the beliefs and ideas of white supremacists my whole life. Presidents, politicians, teachers, professors, cops, priests, pastors, judges, and many more. But you seem to have a problem with this one. Oh, and Wikipedia is not a really good form of research. But again, you guys are only upset with this guy as being a white supremacist when everything that we've been subjected to has been white supremacist. Now, I went and did a little bit of research to go find exactly what Pope Leo actually talked about. So I had to go all the way down to about 174, 175 of his points to get to where he talks about slavery. And it's like Middle Ages, many individuals and even ecclesiastical institutions had slaves. Already in the early modern period, the Apostolic See of Rome, responding to requests from sovereigns, intervened several times in order to regulate and legitimize forms of subjugation. And in certain cases, the enslavement of infidels. Now, you're not enslaving Israelites. These are the only ones that you made 3/5 of a man, right? And all you other nations were all fighting to not be considered Negro, to not be considered black. Again, so this has been a white supremacist organization this whole time. It was only in the 19th century that a formal, absolute, and universal condemnation of slavery was clearly articulated, notably under Pope Leo, the 13th. This development offers a clear example of the church's growth in understanding the perennial truths of revelation that she safeguards. It took her 18 centuries to come to this point. Although there was not always consistency in practice, given that slavery was long tolerated before being unequivocally condemned, there has been a continuous affirmation throughout history of the dignity of every human being. Yeah, you guys say that, but you don't follow that. Again, that's white supremacy. White supremacists can do all these kinds of things. They can sit there and tell you, God loves everybody, but you niggers, right? And it never thinks they have to pay for any of these types of things, right? So again, dignity of every human being. We never got dignity. We were 3/5 of a man, and we're nothing but animals. So dignity of every human being created in the image of God. Even if it took 18 centuries for its full incompatibility with slavery to be explicitly recognized. Now, in what world would you think that the Most High would allow you to enslave people for 18 centuries and then seem to think that you're never going to have to pay for any of this? Oh, you got away with it because it wasn't you, even though you've been enjoying a society that was built off the backs of our people. So again, even if it took 18 centuries for its full incompatibility with slavery to be explicitly recognized, this constitutes a wound in Christian memory, a wound. This is going to be the utter destruction of all Christianity, because that's what the Bible tells you. If you lead someone in captivity, you're going into captivity. If you kill with the sword, you must be killed with the sword, not an I'm sorry or whatever else. One from which we cannot consider ourselves detached. You're not detached. You are going to pay for this. It is impossible not to feel deep sorrow when contemplating the immense suffering and humiliation endured by so many in stark contrast. And again, there's so many, it's one group of people. You guys try to make it sound like it's all black people. No, it wasn't all black people. It was the Israelites. It was the so-called Negroes, not everybody. But that's how you try to hide it and get other people from other groups in. Okay? So again, so many people. Now see, white supremacists think that they can just say, I'm sorry. Now check out the 177, because this is the next part that they didn't talk about. This is why the memory of past complicity and blindness in the face of the injustice of slavery becomes a call to vigilance. What we have learned must be translated into discernment and responsibility in the present if we want to avoid the need to ask for pardon again in the future. So you just seem to think, well, we're just going to make sure we don't do this again, so we don't have to ask for forgiveness or a pardon in the future. You really think that you're going to get away with just asking for a pardon and absolutely there's going to be no effort whatsoever? This is white supremacy. This is what a white supremacist thinks. I don't have to. You're lucky I'm telling you I'm sorry. I'm going to have you guys listen to a little bit of this because this guy's video, because this kills your 12 tribes chart. Because all these people like this here have been fighting to be on the white side this whole time. They didn't want any part of the curses that we were going through.
Expense is like a cake, and you guys are always telling us that this cake tastes like shit. And no matter how you tweak the recipe, the cake still tastes like shit. But you insist on looking at us as Latinos and being like, you have to try this cake recipe. And we as Latinos are like, no, I don't want your recipe for that shitty cake. Actually, the cake that we're making right now for ourselves is turning out pretty good. And black people are like, well, you've got color in your skin, and we've got color in our skin. So you guys should join in on this cake with us out of solidarity. And we as Latinos are trying to tell you, we did not come to this country to join you in eating that shitty cake. And the fact that you think that we should join you in eating that shitty cake just because we may or may not have similar amounts of melanin in our skin makes absolutely no sense at all. And if that means that in your eyes we're trying to be white, we would rather have you see us as white than join you in eating that shitty cake. And what's so terrible about being white or hanging out with white people anyway? I mean, sure, every once in a while you may find raisins in your potato salad, but I think we all can agree that most white people know how to make a cake. I mean, on potato salad, but I think we all can agree that most white people know how to make a cake. I mean, Aunt Jemima may have been black, but Betty Crocker was a white woman.
So see, this kills the whole thing with the 12 tribes chart and just putting everybody in groups just because they were born, their nationality is a certain place. Just because you were born there recently doesn't mean that you have been going through all the same things as everybody else, as our people. When the Catholic Church, I don't see anyone coming out here from all you Catholics, all you Catholic people condemning anything that the Catholic Church has said. They have admitted that they have been condoning slavery for 1,800 years. Now, if you're the ones that were going through slavery, you would actually have a dog in this fight, and you would be out here trying to bring up this information and condemn the Catholic Church. But your silence is compliance. Your silence lets me know, and lets us all know that, hey, you have been enjoying the dainties this whole time, and you don't want to rock the boat. So see, that's why all of a sudden now everybody's Mexican, Native American. All of a sudden now y'all want to claim Native American. Y'all have not been wanting to do that whatsoever. But again, this goes back to, when these Spaniards got over here, I said they were killing and destroying the people that were here. They did not bring over a whole bunch of slaves. They did not bring over 12 million people. The people that they were killing were the so-called Negroes, the ones that they were, enslaving. That the church, who do you think they were enslaving for 1,800 years? I mean, they've been enslaving people this whole time. But you all said now you're all when I went to school and it was Black History Month and they were talking about slavery, you guys never said, oh yeah, we were slaves too. Oh yeah, the Spaniards enslaved us too. No, you were always running and pointing to us and laughing and snickering. Remember? Oh yeah, you guys are nothing but a slave. You guys are nothing but slaves, right? And then the Catholic Church has said they've been enslaving people for 1,800 years. Why haven't you guys talked about that before? Why all of a sudden now, even today, you still don't claim that you've been enslaved by these Spaniards. You love these Spaniards. Like that guy said right now, he'd much rather be with Betty Crocker than Aunt Jemima. And that's okay. But just understand that now that this switch has happened, you're going to be getting the same punishment as that person that you love so much. You're going to get that same punishment, and it's coming for you. That's why you're so quiet about what the Pope just announced. Shalom.